Ah,
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the second episode of I Have Questions. Today we have Lauren Roxborough calling in from the beautiful Los Angeles, California during this pandemic. Hello.
hello. Hello,
Today
how are we?
we will be going over Mark Wahlberg's career because I don't personally understand it. The Bachelor, which, I mean, I guess we're just going over things that I don't understand, which are Mark
Yep.
Wahlberg's career, The Bachelor, and also the reemergence of the fuckboy in this
Mm.
COVID pandemic. Where were they hiding? What were they doing? It's like the pitter patter of YSL Chelsea boots have returned all over the world, and here they are. So before we get into our first topic, Mark Wahlberg, I would like to bring you one of our sponsors, which is Gardein Protein. I am a vegan, and it is expensive, and the economy is collapsing. So Gardein, don't make me eat meat again. Gardein Protein, it's $10.99 at Whole Foods. What the fuck? Now that we've gotten that out of the way, the first topic is Mark Wahlberg. So to give everybody a little bit of background, I first got into a deep Mark Wahlberg internet rabbit hole when he came to shoot, I think, the 2005 or 2006 movie, like, Invincible. I don't even know what the fuck it was called. It's about him being a kicker on the Philadelphia Eagles. I was a closeted Penn football player. I was there. I was like, this kind of fucking sucks. I don't like this. And then looked into his history. So to give you a rundown of Mark Wahlberg's general career path, he opens up by getting arrested for a couple of hate crimes, then switches to, for a small point in time, being in New Kids on the Block. Then he was in Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, which he was kind of the original Billie Eilish. He was like a white rapper who was in Calvin Klein ads. I mean, she didn't do a hate crime to anybody, but like, you know, there is some symmetry there. Then there was the Basketball Diaries. Then he was like a serious actor of Boogie Nights, The Dick Scene. Then we fast forward to The Departed. He gets an Oscar nomination. But then he does Entourage, which is like an up and down. It goes back kind of down. And his latest thing was a Netflix movie called Spencer Confidential with Post Malone, which I refuse to let anybody close to me see with the threat of me cutting them off. So first of all, Lauren, obviously you have not gone as far down this rabbit hole as I have.
Wow.
What was your general, you know, on April 1st, 2020, if somebody was like, Lauren, thoughts on Mark Wahlberg, what's the first thing that comes to mind? What would you have said?
First of all, this is very informative. I didn't really know any of this. All I know about Mark Wahlberg is trash Boston accent. Sorry, people from Boston. But that's all I really remember. And then I thought Boogie Nights was his first, that was his big break.
Absolutely. The thing is, Mark Wahlberg was kind of sneaking in there. So his first big break was actually in Basketball Diaries with Leonardo DiCaprio in like 1994. If we'll edit this, but there'll be a point where I can go basically, I'm going to play a clip of a very homoerotic interview with him and Leonardo DiCaprio where they keep kind of like hugging and kissing, and it's like the opening of a Sean Cody porn. But I guess that's like how white dudes vibe. I don't know. I'm not familiar. However,
are there like gay undertones in this?
Very much so. They were on heroin. They played basketball. There's a lot of like crying in the rain. It's a very much like one of those 90s like serious films.
Interesting.
But then
do you think he has some suppressed tendencies going on here? Is that what we're getting at?
I think every white man in Boston has suppressed tendencies, just
in
everything. I mean, people, they're not allowed to like dance. It's like the fucking Footloose town over there. It's like, they're just like, dancing, that's for queers. Like, I can't. Like Jack Donaghy on 30 Rock has the most like realized sexuality of all Boston men, in my opinion. So like, get at me, Boston. I don't care. But like, that's my thought process. So he was actually in those before. Boogie Nights was like his big, like, I can carry a full movie. And so I've always thought he was a good actor. I first saw him, do you remember that Reese Witherspoon movie, Fear? Where he plays the crazy dude? Another teen classic. So he fingers her on a roller coaster while that Wild Horses song plays, like, the wild horse, like that 90s one. And it's like a teen sexual awakening with Reese Witherspoon. And then he's crazy, and then he tries to kill her entire family, and then her dad kills all of him and his friends. He like rapes Alyssa Milano. It's a very dark movie. The 90s were a weird time.
Okay.
All that happened before Boogie Nights. And then I think, so I'm just wondering, like, I'm not understanding what's
going on here.
Yeah, because it's like you go from like serious movies to like being the sponsor of like a third tier Aries, which is F-45 training. And then Like,
And the Wahlburgers.
Wahlburgers.
That place in West Hollywood. It's
No, but
ridiculous.
that's a franchise. So I thought they're in Detroit, they're in Boston, they're like all throughout the Midwest. And the reason I found out about the hate crimes is if you want to have a franchise that's basically ability to be owned nationally, you cannot be a felon. So he clearly is a felon.
Seems reasonable.
Exactly. You know, it's a low hoop or
low bar
jump over. You know, it's not that much, but.
Right.
He basically applied to have his record expunged so he could then open Wahlburgers all throughout. And this is like 2009. And now being, you know, a double minority, being black and gay and also sharp cheekbones. So I guess that's three minorities. But like, I was kind of being like, you're already a rich and famous actor and you're trying to get like your low-key hate crimes expunged so you can like go shill diabetes to all of America. Like, I don't. Like,
and that probably just brought it all up way
right
more
just back around, and the reason
don't go there, Mark,
right? Like, you don't need to
leave it alone.
Go make good movies. But the reason I'm always wondering, and then they also had that reality show called Wahlburgers, which I believe was on A&E.
You're right. This is all coming back to me. This is very informative.
Mark Wahlberg he has the kind of career, his kind of career is like the TV show where like you're on your phone, but you're watching over and over, like you're not really paying attention. And I feel like a lot of shit slides. You're like, oh yeah, he did have a rap career. Oh yeah, he did commit some hate crimes. Oh yeah, he does push up protein. He does all these little things. And then recently, I think on Instagram, he posted his like rise and grind schedule where he like wakes up at 2:30 a.m., has a protein shake, exercises for 90 minutes, like talks to his children, works for 3 hours, and then there's like a whole period that's just like golf. And then golf. Okay. And then there's a second workout, and then time with kids, which I'm going to put in air quotes because come on. And then and then he goes to bed at 7:30 p.m. So what? My question is like, that? Yes, is that a life somebody wants? Is that a life anybody? I mean, we're all, I guess, fans or proponents of this whole grind culture. Like, you run fucking marketing for a yoga company. Like, I do whatever the fuck I do. I'm trying to shill jewelry and diamonds and run a podcast in my part-time. However,
you're doing it all. You're killing it.
Do we want to be awake at 2:30 a.m. and to sleep at 7:30 p.m.? Like, is that a life anybody is really aiming for?
You know, I feel like there is some deep suppression going on here. First of all, he's abnormally short.
Right?
I don't know. Yeah, I think like I have seen him in real life, and it is alarming.
It's a surprise.
But it's very, very surprising. But he has had a really long, solid career in Hollywood, which most don't have.
Very true.
But so I will give him some credit there. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Mark Wahlberg, what are you doing here? I don't trust anyone who goes to bed at 7:30. I don't trust people who don't drink.
Right.
You know, I think like, you know, he's like from Boston, Catholic to his core. Like there's something deep going on there.
And just like the ebbs and flows that don't make
I'm gonna get in trouble from Boston people.
I mean, like I said, you know what? I started this. If you were from Boston and you listen to this podcast, DM me. Come get me. I offended the white gays with Brittany the first episode. If I'm not afraid of the white gays, I'm not afraid of the Boston straights. So come find me. Risk your life. Go outside. Come to New York, the epicenter of coronavirus, to fight me. That is the
DM Blakely, not me.
That seems like
I'm good.
That seems like a great life plan for whoever's out there doing this. For like the 68 of you that have listened, cool.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But my other theory is that he did Pain and Gain with The Rock in like 2010, and then I think he saw The Rock and was like, I want this man's life. Because the thing is with The Rock is he does the same shit, but we just accept it because I just think he's the fucking Rock. Like The Rock jumps into franchises that are already floundering for no fucking reason, and we're like, I'm with it. Like Journey to the Center of the Earth 2. Yep, I watched it with The Rock. Fast and the Furious. That shit was not popping until The Rock just hopped in number 5.
So true.
Jumanji.
This comes back to men's egos. Mark Wahlberg, small man, big ego, lots of proof. And Rock is just born with greatness. Like, you just can't compete.
Right? Even the symmetry
Yeah.
of Ballers versus Entourage. Both very, very
Same font type in the title,
right?
if you haven't noticed.
Right? Same fluffy ass show. There's never really any stakes. You know they're gonna survive. It's like the show's basic premise is Bentley SUV, tits, guest star, rap music, and then credits.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. Some reason with Entourage around season 4, I was like, I hate these men. I don't know why these men are here. But with Ballers, I'm always I do want Spencer, who is a functional Vicodin addict and woman abuser, to own that NFL team. I want him to win. And I think that's just The Rock versus Mark Wahlberg. Or, I mean,
for sure.
I don't know. I think we've covered these ebbs and flows. At the end of these segments, this is your first time, I like to do a pro or a con. So we break down the who, what, when, where, why, and then we both say, are we pro or con Mark Wahlberg? Is he good for this world at this current moment in time? So the who is obviously Mark. The what is pretty much fucking everything, because he does acting, producing, golf, time with the children, hate crimes, burger franchises, and gyms. The why is I don't ego. I think you call that out, the male ego. And the when is sadly our entire adult lives. I don't think we're gonna really I don't think the reign of Mark Wahlberg is over. I think the Netflix movie could have signaled the end, but Adam Sandler has made $300 million for movies that I never heard of. Spencer Confidential.
That's the whole career path.
Tom Cruise does those movies about Jack Reacher, and they keep happening. I don't know why. And that character's 6'5" in the books. Come on. That doesn't make any sense.
I could go on about Tom Cruise.
So, pros on Mark Wahlberg. I think proteins and golf as an industry, and he keeps Boston somewhat relevant. Cons, I'm going to say giving Post Malone the thought that he could act, and the hate crimes. I think the hate crimes were first. I mentioned the hate crimes second. The hate crimes were first. The hate crimes were first. Overall, I think for Mark Wahlberg, I'm going to say, nah, I don't need it. I don't need it. You had your chance. You could have kept doing good supporting roles like The Departed, and that's the only movie about Boston men I'll ever watch. But I'm sorry, dog. Netflix and shitty proteins, I'm going to say you're a no. What are your thoughts?
Again, haven't given Mark Wahlberg this much thought probably my whole life. So I'm going to say I'm pretty average about Mark Wahlberg and what he does. I would say he could go back to directing or producing and maybe behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Maybe explore his gay tendencies.
I think the general thing is, Mark, be better.
Yeah.
We've ended this, Mark Wahlberg, we need you to be better. And that brings us to our second sponsor of the night, which is, hold on, I thought this would be easier.
I'm sponsored by Pizza.
Absolute Vodka. Drink out of a pineapple because there's nothing else to do. I discovered that I like Cosmopolitans today, which makes me approximately 30% more homosexual. Absolute Vodka. Always drink out of a metal straw. Anyway, that ends our section. We will see you soon. So this is the fake section. We'll push it out. We're about to go to The Bachelor. Got my show notes on The Bachelor. I got my show notes on The Bachelor.
We're good.
And so 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everyone, to the second section of I Have Questions, where we'll now be covering The Bachelor. But before we dive into that, entire shit show, we're going to bring you from we're going to bring you a message from one more of our sponsors, Frank's Red Hot. When a black person says, I want hot sauce, this is what they mean. Frank's Red Hot. Don't give me no fucking salsa. Thank you. Anyway.
I am dead.
We're going to be diving into The Bachelor.
Yes.
My quick show notes on The Bachelor are, it's been on for 24 seasons, 251 episodes, and it's had approximately one black protagonist in all of these seasons. We have approximately countless numbers of influencers now spawned by this show pushing teeth whiteners, and really a very misogynist and non-sex positive agenda. I have never watched a single episode of the show, but I am a messy bitch that loves drama. So I do read supermarket tabloids, shout out to Us Weekly, Life and Style, Star, you're a third tier, but Star still, and everything else. Everything that gets me through LaGuardia Airport. So anyway, those I know all about it. I know all about Peter Weber and Second Peter, Third Peter, Alejandro. They all have the same name. Whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Lauren, you have you don't watch quite. I mean, I think you've watched before because you had a friend on the show. But what are your general thoughts?
Okay, so first off, I have adamantly declined all of the invites from all my girlfriends over all of the years for the Bachelor Monday viewing parties. I have always had strong feelings about the show. I've never seen it. I have seen clips of it. It irks me to my core, truly. It's very, very 1950s, very white, obviously. Just problematic all around. I think it
Agreed.
really just, it creates unrealistic expectations of relationships more than anything. You're put into this isolated, that it's actually a crazy social experiment. These people are put into an isolated experience. They don't have their phones. You can't text your girlfriend and be like, oh my God, I met this dude last night. He did this crazy thing. Like, am I being crazy? Is it like, what's happening? You have no one to talk to. You can't watch the news. You have no idea. And you have one goal all day. And it's to get this guy to like you. And then you're living with all these other people who are purposely there to aggravate you and just are also fighting with you for the same goal. So it's awful. And you have women who are fighting with each other. It's misogynistic in every way. I don't know. I never been into it.
It just seems like I don't know why, and I guess people sign up for it for different reasons. And I know a few girls that have been on it.
Right.
I actually met Andy Dorfman because she's from Atlanta and my friend's from Atlanta. And I was like, what? And I love all pop culture, but I'm generally wildly oblivious to a lot of The Bachelor. And people kept coming up to her, and I was like, why are people coming up to you? Like, are you a singer? Like, are you like a Dua Lipa-esque pop star? Like, what's going on? And she was like, I was on The Bachelor. I was like, oh, that's nice, whatever. She's like, you don't watch? I'm like, I'm Black and gay. It's not my like cup of tea. Like, no. But I think when you look at it, it's almost like, why are people signing up to get gaslit for like 3 months? It's like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to give you no food. We're going to keep you up till 3 a.m. We're going to make you wear a form-fitting dress. And we're going to serve
they don't pay you.
And we're going to serve you vodka. So it's like, why do I want this? For a commercial pilot? A commercial pilot? Ew. Like, why?
Right. Well, so that's the thing. So yes, I have a girlfriend who's on the last season, Natasha. Mm-hmm. She is incredible, the realest person you've ever met, and I think that really came through, and you saw that on the show. So I watched it this season with her, and actually we were packing before she was going on The Bachelor, and we were she also hadn't really seen it, and we're watching Ben season and kind of trying to figure out what's going on. She's like, okay, I think I got this.
Yeah.
And I think that helped her because she was just so real coming into it, and you can just tell that all these girls are there to become an influencer or whatever. And she was the only person who I think had the idea that you also have a choice if you even like this man. Like, this Pete is a pilot who lives at home in Westlake Village with his crazy parents, and he has nothing going on for him. And so Natasha on the show is kind of like, she's also making her own decisions about whether she wants to go into this relationship with this stranger. And all these other girls are just like gung-ho, like, this is what I'm doing so I can get that blogger.
That's what I don't get, because I'm like, I feel like post 2011, like it premiered when like we were like, I think in high school or whatever the hell with that guy like Alex, and sexuality is a spectrum, but I think that motherfucker was gay. But like Alex, whatever. But like post 2011, why am I gonna sign up to be like sleep deprived and like compete for someone who's like a milquetoast man or woman?
Yeah.
Without knowing that, like, okay, I'm going in this to plug Crest White Strips, my DJ career, and like another unneeded collaboration with Macy's for like cashmere sweaters that are like I'm going here to be like Ariel Charnas. Like, shout out to that girl because you've had a rough week, boo. Like,
that's a bad week.
Stay home.
Yeah.
But isn't it clear now? Like, now we have Bachelor in Paradise. Like, Bachelor, there's a new one. Mm-hmm. We actually have a friend going on called The Bachelor Listen to Your Heart, where they sing duets. They're basically mashing up American Idol and The Bachelor, where they all are singer-songwriters and are supposed to also
Dude, that
love.
song.
I don't even understand what's happening now. Despite this,
What?
but and I just
Yeah.
don't. It's crazy. I don't
I think
understand.
that I think a lot of
I need a
the
sip of my
women who go
drink.
on it they're so young. You know, a lot of them are like 22, 23, and you don't really know what you're signing up for. You don't know that how contrived it is and how much the producers are spinning things. So when you go into that house, they already know who's gonna be in the top people that they're picked, and then who are the kind
Right?
of crazy ones that they're going to make you look crazy so that you kind of make it through far enough, but you just embarrass yourself in the whole process.
I almost
So
feel like there's
you're signing up for it. You're signing up for it for sure. Like you agreed to this.
But it's literally like a script
Contractually.
sheet. I almost feel like you go in and I'm like, hi, I'm Blakely. I'm 23 and I'm like looking
Yeah.
for someone real. I'm not here to make friends. I think I'm falling in love. My Instagram handle is like BlakelyDJ23 at goodtimes.brooklyn. Like that, I feel like that is what I'm seeing
Yeah.
when I like watch the clips of the
For
show
sure.
or like read it. But
Yeah.
that brings me to my favorite Bachelor thing ever, which is what's his name's mom? Was it Peter's mom, Barb? Was it Barb?
Barb.
I love her. Like I don't I like I'm just gonna say like
Oof.
Peter sucks. I think she has done nothing that any like Black or minority mom, they will tell you they don't like your partner to their face and be like, that bitch is trash. Like I've seen cousins bring girls to a restaurant or a dinner or like Thanksgiving, and this bitch will put like potatoes or she'll put like raisins in the potato salad, and they're like, this bitch is dead to me forever. Like, who is this dumb bitch? Like, I hate her. And so like so everybody like, Barb's being terrible. Barb's being terrible. She's being so mean. It's like Madison apparently kept her waiting for 3 hours. Like, what did you think was gonna happen? Like, also look at you. I've never heard Madison speak, but I patently don't trust anyone that hangs out with Selena Gomez. So
Never heard her speak? Does she not speak on the show?
I mean, I don't watch the show. I've only seen the Us Weekly clips.
I watched it with Natasha in it, and I didn't pay attention to anyone else. Like everyone else they were all the same. You know, they're all like a content creator, like a dental hygienist, or like some white bitch named Lauren. I'm like, I can't. It's too much for me.
But that's not also the job descriptions I've noticed are getting wilder just by seeing like, and like this is gonna like pivot slightly to Love Is Blind, but when you're getting like, you'll have like ex-tank mechanic, content creator, like former student. Like that's not a thing. That's not even your occupation. That's something you used to be. Like I don't understand what happened to like dentist or accountant or like. I mean, I guess pizza pilot or whatever the fuck.
Well, because they're like 22.
Yeah, it's like you just graduated college.
Fuck, if you had taken me at 22 and put me on that show, I would severely embarrass myself, and that fucking sucks because, look, again, they signed up for it, and this is what they wanted. But you're put into a situation that you really don't have control over, and they do sleep deprive you. And like that first episode, they are filming until 7:30 a.m.
Yeah,
like
it's
that's
crazy.
fucking not normal. And they're feeding you alcohol, and you're just like heightened emotions. You can't call your friends.
You're just stuck. You're just like stuck. Like it's almost like permanently like rushing forever, like rushing a sorority or fraternity forever. But like the point isn't to make friends. The point is to like make enemies. It's almost
that
like
is a fucking great analogy.
That
is a beautiful analogy.
It literally is like if rushing were a hellscape where like only one of you survived. It's like, okay, we're gonna pump you up full of alcohol, we're gonna heighten your emotions and lock you in this basement, and guess what? You're not fucking bonding. All of you need to fucking destroy each other by the end. It's basically the plot of a horror movie. Like if you really think about it.
It's a fucking horror movie. And you're fighting over a guy who you do not know. You do not know. He could be a fucking serial killer.
Crazy person.
We don't know.
Yeah.
They're all crazy. Okay.
And
sorry, crazy is the wrong word.
But the prize is like a 29-year-old like virgin with bad impulse control. Like that's the prize. Not $1 million. Not like a career-making internship. It's just this fucking like limp dick loser. Like I just like that is what the goal. So
you get to move to Westlake Village and live at home with Barb and Pete, and that's what you get.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Super
like
exciting.
I'm not gonna like fucking deprive myself of
Nah.
food to live in Ventura County. Fuck
No.
you, Ventura
No.
County. I don't care.
Boston, Ventura County.
Boston,
We're really going off.
Ventura County. I don't care. I don't care, Agora Hills. I don't care, Calabasas. Hidden Hills has only been cool because of the Kardashians and Drake. There's still nothing around. I don't care. Anyway, now that we're going to go yay or nay on The Bachelor, I'm pretty sure where we're both going to go with this. But, you know, the who is every white 23-year-old in the world. The what is ABC. The why is ratings, and I guess a future career hawking, you know, tummy teas and teeth whiteners. And the where is usually Ventura County. It's a shitty house in Ventura County that you're locked in. So with The Bachelor, I would say, I'm going to say nay with a caveat that if the next Bachelor is a white man with all minority women and they don't tell him, I will watch that first episode. I just want to see 25 ethnic hairdos coming out of that car, one after the other, after the other, after the other. And I want a close up on his face. And then we will watch. I want cornrows. I want dew caps. I want everything. I want the bobby pins. I want all of it. I want nary a white girl, and I want the whitest man named Brad, who's 23 and just graduated from ASU and played club rugby, to be the Bachelor. And I want him to experience this. I don't want him to go through the whole season, because I think that's the learning. And they could call it The Bachelor learning or something. But that is my thought on The Bachelor.
Yeah.
Where are you at with it?
I've never been into it. I think it's run its course, 24 seasons. I think we've now really just graduated from it, and it's time to say goodbye.
Yes.
Like the Vitamin C song. Goodbye.
So I think, and here's where we will play graduation on this section. So The Bachelor is a nay, unless you're going to have all black girls and a white guy from ASU.
Yeah.
Our last sponsor for this section is Ina Garten. Ina Garten. Didn't know I liked that bitch till today because she drinks at 9:30.
Oh, Ina's the realest.
And I made it cosmopolitan.
Woo!
Ina Garten. Crisp shirts, crisp kitchens, crisp cocktails. We will be with you for the next section and the final section of the second episode. I have questions. All right.
I need to fix my lighting here.
Yes, we're cool, but it's 2/3 of the way through. We're now going to the fuckboy section.
Okay. I just my lighting's going in and out. Hold on.
Okay.
I just need to not move. There we go.
Here we go.
All right.
Welcome back to the third and final section of the second episode of I Have Questions. I am here with Lauren Roxborough, and today we're going to talk about the secondary pandemic that no one really knows about of this COVID crisis, and that is fuckboys. But before we get to that, our first advertiser of this section is Zoom. Zoom, we all live in Zoom now. Y'all are really rich. Zoom, if you want to hire me, I know you have money because this is where I spend 90% of my time.
Yeah.
Zoom. Now, for fuckboys. So guys, we've been locked in our houses for 3 weeks or so, 4 weeks, I guess. Some people go outside. My boyfriend does not go outside. He's like, hey, can you go get like the mail? I don't want to do it. I might die. But I'm like, we sleep in the same bed. Like, you're going to get it if I get it. Anyway, what has happened with the single population that my sister, you can confirm, and many of my gay friends can confirm, is the reemergence of the fuckboy. Like the zombies from The Walking Dead. They were gone. They were shitty. Yeah. They walked their 2009 YSL baseball jacket with those little white things that everybody fucking wears out your life. And all of a sudden, like the plague, they're back. Why? Back. We can't even touch. It is a government mandate. So I would love to hear about your personal experience with this. What has been happening? What's going on, and why?
Okay, so these fuckboys, they're out there. First of all, they are back in full force. It is like a second pandemic here. Let me get my lighting on.
Yeah.
And there's two things. So for me, I was. Hold on. Light, Blakely.
It's hard. It's hard with.
I'm like in a car, and every time I like.
Every time you move, it's gonna change.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Oh. Can we edit this? Is that better? All right. Okay. Fuckboys. They're back. And they, I've gotten texts when this first went down for the past, like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I got a text from literally every guy that I have talked to in the past year, because these guys, you don't have sports anymore. They're all just cooped up at home. Like, I think no sports is really contributing to that,
fucking them
because
up.
they are,
and
I kind of feel for them, because they are really only as good as like the last 5 girls that they hooked up with, because like that's as far as you're gonna get in the pool. So like when I get these, it's like the new "you up" text is you safe, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And where were you for the past year? And they're coming out, and I'm like, what is your end game, sir? Like, do you think you're gonna hit me up? I'm in Los Angeles right now. Do you think I'm gonna like fly to New York, like quarantine with you, and like bring you some COVID and like then go back? Like, there is no, what is your end game? And I think like they just don't know what to do with themselves. And the point is that they don't even think about like what the end game is. They're just like chickens with their heads cut off right now.
But I think that is the interesting thing, is that
it's wild.
It's really opened up the fact that it's almost like unlocking the key, is that there was never an end game. A fuckboy has no end game.
Exactly. Like, they're not thinking it through. And that's the thing, is like another guy, they thought this through, and they're like, okay, we could do like whatever your version of a relationship is, or whatever you want out of that sort of partnership. Yeah. This is like pure just, they're just sitting, it also brings to light that they really don't have much going on.
No.
Like when you take away sports and like drinking with your friends, it's like, do you have a hobby, sir? Like, do you have anything else to do?
They're not reading. They're not here writing scripts.
No.
They're not doing anything. They're not doing They're an art curator.
They're on Pornhub. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, but it's
and
just
then they're FaceTiming me. And I'm like, I don't want to FaceTime you. I'm overwhelmed by the virtual communication. I'm overwhelmed by the FaceTime, the Zoom. There's too much Zoom happening.
We all live in Zoom, but Zoom, if you want to give us money, still it's okay. So
yeah, please sponsor us. We're in
yes, we're out here. We're out here.
That's out here in this pandemic. But it's like, first of all, I'm also getting people who are wanting to schedule a FaceTime date, and I'm just like, I'm overwhelmed. I'm like, do I have to put on makeup? Like, I don't know. Look at how my like light issue is happening right now. Like, I have to. I don't want to do this.
I'd be like, name my siblings. You want to FaceTime date? Yeah. Name my siblings.
Also, like typically, first of all, I don't typically like to text that much. I'll be like, well, text, and it's like, I'll see you when I see you. Well, like, I'm better in person. Yeah. And then now, when you're on FaceTime, you are just stuck on FaceTime. You can't.
There's nowhere to go.
No obvious like physical interaction. You can't even like comment on things that are happening around you. You can't be like, oh, what are you doing tomorrow? It's like, I'm doing shit tomorrow.
Yeah, I got nothing going on. I got nothing going on.
Nothing. So all we can really talk about is like nostalgia of the past, and maybe like what you're reading on the news. I don't know.
But I think what you said is interesting, in that like, I feel like in a fuckboy, in terms of like their overall ego and what happens with gay fuckboys, we'll call them guckboys, fuckboys, whatever, is that you're only as good as your last 5 hookups. So like, if you go 4
100%.
months and you have no hookups because you realize you didn't get into the relationship, like there's nobody there to sit with you, like you almost cease to exist. Your entire value is like, oh, I saw this girl. Oh, I saw this guy. Like, oh, I saw that. Like, I mean, everybody, Barry's an Equinox, gay and straight alike. It's a fuckboy explosion. Yeah. Like, so it's like, you're like, okay, if I can't go to Equinox and make eyes at you in this class and like text you and emotionally abuse you, like I've lost my ability to do that. So like, who am I? Because they don't have hobbies. They don't have sports. And that's really like real talk. True fuckboys don't really have friends because they're not emotionally acute enough to like be there for anybody besides themselves. So what do? You can't even go and like buy that new like Burberry jacket to make you look to like post on your Instagram. You can't go to the Webster. Open ceremony is now just online. What you gonna do? Neiman Marcus is damn near thinking about bankruptcy. It's a scary existence, and it's almost like, I don't know if you've seen that Colin Farrell movie, The Lobster, where like if you don't pair off, they like just turn you into an animal and you just die. Like I feel like it's like this.
I know
COVID,
the Friends quote.
This COVID pandemic is like Colin Farrell's The Lobster. Basically, if they don't get you hooked back in, they're just gonna turn to fucking dust in their in their NoHo loft. And all that will be left is like their black jeans and their gray YSL jopper boots. And it's going to be a sad scene.
It's either going to go one of two ways when we come out of this. Because like I've been talking to a lot of my guy friends who are in New York, and they're struggling because they're like, fuck, I should have started dating that girl. Fuck, I can't even talk to this girl because I ghosted her the week before. And I'm like, exactly. I love you, but I don't feel bad for you. And I hope this is a lesson. Or we're going to come out of this and they're just going to run like wild animals.
Oh, option two. Humans have short memories, and like and fuckboys are a rung below humans. So it's like there's just going to be like it never happened. Like it's all open. It's just
I really wanted option one.
But it's like I think it's going to be 50-50. People being like, oh, because if this happens again, I do want to like have someone to speak to every day. Like I've never been more thankful than like that. Like I have a partner to like talk to, and like when I'm like, oh,
talking to my lamp.
I went on a run and I like almost started crying because I'm like, I've forgotten what hugs in restaurants are like. I don't know what's gonna happen next. So, but he's like, you're okay. Like, then I think they don't have that. So I don't know.
The other side I've seen. So I mean, now I kind of sound like maybe a hypocrite for this, but I was casually talking to a couple men before this all went down, and I'm just like, shit, because it was all going so well.
Yeah.
And the funny thing now is that they're like stuck with me. Like we're in this quarantine and our relationship is just blossoming, and they're also just like pulling out all the stops. Like I picked up someone sent me a quarantine care package today. A boy sent me a care package.
You know what?
I was like,
you know what I'm going to circle this back to? Love is blind. Because when you can't physically touch somebody, you have to actually emotionally connect.
Yes.
My sister, hey, Taylor Thornton, I'm going to talk about your personal life and you can't stop me. Anyway, she's been like having the best dating of her life. She met this like Swedish banker, and we had gone to Sweden in 2018, and he saw her picture from like being in Vakassan and fucking, what's it called, in Stockholm. And they talk for like 2 hours a night. Like, and about like, life and what you want to do and where you want to live and I love to travel, because there's no like physical end game. They're forced to be almost intellectually interested in you as a person, so you have this like weird connection. So I feel like it is like on the plus side, the people that you were dating, it becomes like a Love is Blind situation where like, what are your values, what are your morals, what are your most terrible childhood memories. Mine is when my dad gave me a fake letter from a bully when I was 8 years old at Halloween and thought I would know it was fake because there was no postage. I was 8. How would I know? I thought this person was going to kill me. Thanks, Steve Thornton.
What was the lesson for that?
He thought it was a Halloween prank.
The prank!
He wrote my dad wrote a letter from somebody being like, don't you come outside tonight for Halloween. I'm going to mess you up, blah, blah, blah. Like, you stupid, like, pumpkin head, blah, blah. I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to go outside. And it was addressed to both me and my sister. And we're like, we have a combined 11 years of life for 2 human beings. And he didn't even tell my mom. So then like, he goes, it's a joke. And we're like, what? And then it took us a while. And then my mom was like, my mom rarely uses the N-word unless she's extremely mad. But she was like, you stupid ass nigga. Why the fuck would you do that to them? Like, she was so furious because he didn't tell her. And he was like, there was no postage stamp. And we're like, I'm 8. I don't understand.
What's a postage stamp?
I've never fucking mailed a letter on my own in my natural black life, Steve. Thanks. Which is probably why I hate Halloween to this day. So who knows? But that was a digression. We're gonna land the plane on Fuckboys in the COVID crisis. So who? Obviously, again, everybody that shops there, the real for YSL boots. Why? They don't have sports or friends or conquests where, again, on Zoom, because that's where we all live now. And what? Sometimes true love, because sometimes it forces you, if you are casually dating, to find someone. So fuckboys in the COVID crisis, I'm obviously all fuckboys, I'm going to give them a nay. Like, y'all suck. Fuckboys, guckboys, all y'all. That if it ends in BOI, like, bye. Exactly.
Bye.
Get rid of it. But forced emotional connection, I'm going to say yes, because it obviously was Lauren from Love is Blind. So, like, you know, they're the interracial love and basketball couple.
Yeah.
So I'll say yes.
I would say for me personally, it's working out quite well. So I'm happy with it, how it's going. I got this care package today. Another boy, he wrote and recorded a song and sang it to me.
Oh,
and
wow.
I'm just like, sir, where was this effort before all of this?
Was it a good song, or was it like a love times love minus love equals love situation?
Look, anything in quarantine is good. I'm like, wow, like that's amazing. You know, I haven't heard other human interaction in weeks, so I'm like, okay, great, that's nice. But my concern is when we get out of this.
Are you gonna like talk the talk and walk the walk for what's going on?
Is this just because you don't have sports, or are you actually? I don't know. Is this gonna keep up? So TBD on that. But fuckboys who are just out there ghosting every single chick in New York City, goodbye.
Yeah, and there could be another COVID crisis, guys. So
yeah.
For the third one, obviously, fuckboys are a no. Emotional connection is a yes. Lauren, I would like to thank you for being a part of this second episode. You're my first guest in the history of this podcast. This microphone isn't actually active; it just looks really cool. But we're gonna take it. We're gonna take it out with our last sponsor, which is Peloton. Give me a bike because I can't go to the gym. What the fuck am I doing? I'm not trying to be fat when summer hits. Peloton. Give me a bike. I don't want to start an OnlyFans account. Peloton. That has been the second episode of I Have Questions. I am Blakely Thornton. This is Lauren Roxborough. We are dealing with a pandemic, and I will see you next week when we talk about other things. Thank you.
Woo!
All right, girl. Bye. Thank you.
Love you.